Hello and welcome to One Cut. I'm your host, Amber Wisman, and with me today is singer, songwriter, and producer, Nick Cavalier. Hi, Nick.
Hello, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here. So, my first question for you is, what got you interested in music?
Well, I've always been pretty interested in music because my dad was really into music, so he listened to a lot of mostly metal, and so that was really a lot of my introduction to music. But then I got more into, like rap music eventually with skateboarding because that's what all my friends were listening to. So I was influenced by that, and then later on when I got to high school, it was more. I finally found electronic music, and that's what really got me into making music.
Awesome. So, what genre would you say is your main genre when you're making your own music?
Like overall genre, I'd say electronic music, but I make a lot of future bass, is what it's called. Future bass, trap music, sort of a hybrid of the two sometimes.
Awesome. Are there any artists or bands that influence your music?
I listen to a lot of different stuff, and I try to take influence away from everything. One person in particular that's really influenced me a lot is a producer named Porter Robinson, and he made a lot of different stuff in the past, but is mostly known now for making melodic music, and he's really influenced my trajectory as an artist quite a lot. But I mean, I take a lot of influence from rap music, and right now a lot of like pop punk and like indie stuff. Like I've been listening to a lot of this band called Neck Deep from the UK. They were actually here in town a couple weeks ago, or last week, and I've been listening to some indie bands. One in particular is called Mom Jeans. I've been listening to them a lot. And so I've taken a lot of influence from that. I try to take a little bit from everything because it just helps me create something that's more unique and something that's more individual for me rather than maybe what a lot of other people are making, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
So, with your music, are you more of a solo artist or do you like being part of a band?
I definitely like collaborating with my friends and stuff, but I find myself working alone a lot more. I definitely am not part of like a band necessarily, but I definitely like collaborating with my friends, especially like my friends that are really like-minded and on like a similar like skill level, I guess, so we can really push each other to like create the best work.
Awesome. So, do you perform a lot?
Yeah, I'm actually playing a show next week in Denver.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So, when you perform, I know some people get really nervous when they go and sing in front of a bunch of people. Can you describe the feeling that you get when you're up there on stage, spreading your music for other people?
So when I perform, I don't really play a live show quite yet because I mean I make electronic music, so it's a lot of DJing. Sooner or later, I'm gonna move to that. It's just a lot of money to like get a live show prepared, and so right now it's just DJing. And when I'm up on stage, I'm like fine. If I'm nervous, I'm only nervous for like one or two songs maybe, and then I'm totally good. The point where I'm nervous is every show I've ever played, I'm super nervous on the drive over, but then I get there and I'm totally fine. Like once I'm at the venue, I'm good.
Oh, awesome. That's great. So, have you ever thought of making music videos for your music, or do you have any already out?
Totally. Not on YouTube necessarily, but I did a project called Better with a good friend of mine named Base Ventura earlier this year, and it was like a series of like short music videos. So I did an animation using the cover art as just like a picture of these like two hands like kind of like holding each other like that, and then just sort of moved back and forth, and that was like the intro. And then I did a lyric video that I worked on with my good friend Metatype Media. He helped me do some animating for the like lyric video part of it, and it was basically just Delaney Kai, the girl that sang the song, and myself. The video was us on FaceTime, and I literally just screen recorded my computer of us singing the song, and then had the animation going in one corner, and then also the lyrics kind of going as like a command prompt, just like going as the song went on. So that was really fun. And then, yeah, just footage of both Bass Ventura and I like playing live for the drop of the song, like the climax of the song. And so it's sort of three music videos, but all in one, like three separate things, but all for one project, I suppose. But I think that's the most I've done with a music video besides when I came in and did Lightless with you guys.
Oh, great. Well, we are actually have Lightless right here. We can take a look at that right now.
Would love to.
And let's see.
Too many times I've felt like I gave up too much of myself, too much too fast. I need help inside of my mind. Tell me what you know about life, show me what you sacrificed to be here. Cause you know I like the light right now, to keep from holding tight to my fears. I'm lightless. I'm lightless. I'm lightless. Tell me what you know about life, show me what you sacrificed to be here. Cause you know I like the light right now, to keep from holding tight to my fears. I'm lightless. I'm lightless. I'm lightless.
Wow, that was really amazing.
Thanks. I thought that was kind of pitchy, but thank you.
Oh, so what does this song mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's a really special song to me because I think it's a really good picture of the direction I want to head as an artist. I think it paints a really clear picture of the type of music I want to make. I think that's pretty cool.
And you made this song, right?
Yeah, I made all of this song.
So what made you come up with the idea for this song, this song specifically?
Well, the actual instrumental of it was written before I wrote the lyrics, because originally it was a remix for some friends of mine out in LA. They're a duo called The Blame that I actually worked with again recently. But and then they didn't really want to use it as a remix because they wanted something a bit more like upbeat. And so I just took their vocals off, and I had written those lyrics at a different time because I was sort of going through a time where I was in a lot of like relationships, like romantic and like otherwise, where they seemed very one-sided, where I was putting in a lot of effort but not getting that same effort in return. And so I was feeling frustrated, and so that's where those lyrics came from.
Great. So all the listeners of this song, is there a message you want them to get from the song?
Yeah, I guess I want them to like connect with that because I feel like that's a pretty like relatable subject, and I feel like that's a way that a lot of people feel with some of their relationships. And so I want them to sort of like view this as like me saying something that like they can't say or don't have the courage to say or whatever, just almost reading their mind in a sense maybe.
That's great. So where do you want to go with your music?
I mean, I want to make music full time. I want to, have my music get to people all over the place so I can, connect with them even though I don't know them. Because I think that's a really cool concept of like having people from all over the place kind of know part of you and like really understand part of you even though you don't know them, and they're like able like to connect with you and your experiences, through this thing that you made. I think that's like a really cool concept. So I want to connect with people, and I want to be able to travel all over and go play shows for people and perform and just do this, I guess.
That's great. So speaking of connecting with your listeners, Do you have any fans that, like, is there any way for your fans to connect with you, and do you talk to them regularly?
Yeah, absolutely. Through all of my social media, all except for Twitter. Twitter is I_am_case closed. It's a whole thing. I'm trying to get the actual handle, but the rest is just at I am case closed. I respond to all my comments, messages, everything, because I love hearing what people have to say. And I love
That's great.
showing that gratitude towards people that show me love. So if you're out there and want to connect with me, there it is. Social media. I am case closed.
That's great. So speaking of social media, do you feel social media has had a part in the spread of your music?
For sure. Absolutely. I'd say it's essential for like artists of today. I mean, you don't even necessarily have to be like talking about your music. You just have to be an engaging persona. And so that's what I've been working on with social media and like spreading myself as an artist. You also have to spread yourself as like a personality on the internet. So I'd say, yeah, social media is like super key as an artist.
What is your favorite platform for your music?
Like posting it?
Yeah, like to spread the word of your music.
I'd say that SoundCloud gets like the most interaction, and I like uploading to SoundCloud just because there's a lot of like freedom to it, and there's a lot of like politics to it, which is annoying sometimes, but it's actually pretty interesting the way that like the politics of SoundCloud sort of work. But personally, I use Spotify the most.
Wow, that's great. So, my next question for you is, how has social media worked financially for you, and how has your music, how have you profited off of your music at all?
Yeah, definitely. I've made some money, not like a lot of money, which I'm trying to like change ASAP. I've made like a very, very small amount from like streams from YouTube and Spotify, Apple Music, all that. Most of the money I make from music is from playing shows, which is like not bad. Like if it were consistent, I'd be able to like pay all my bills with it. But the thing about playing shows, especially as a smaller artist, is that it can be pretty inconsistent, and so that's the issue. So I do work like part-time doing like retail, but I make a lot of my money from being an artist.
And do you feel your genre has anything to do with your success?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say it kind of plays a role in the like inconsistency of the performances, because most of the people that make like future bass or like melodic stuff, you kind of have to be like huge to really tour. Like you have to be on like Muramasa level or like Louis the Child level or like Odessa, Seven Lions. Like you have to be like pretty big to like be touring consistently and making like a lot of money. But I mean, there's like plenty of dudes out there that are smaller like future bass artists that are touring a lot and making a lot of money. So I'd say there's like definitely like potential for it.
That's great. So, do you have any long-term goals with your music career?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be able to like sustain myself. I want to be able to have enough money to really bring my vision with everything to life. I mean, like I have plenty of goals as an artist and like who I want to be as an artist and who I want to be as a person, but like mostly I want to be able to sustain myself off of music and give back to my family, my mom especially. She's helped me a lot throughout my like time just as a person, but like especially like these last few years of taking music and art and everything super seriously. She's supported me a ton, so I want to be able to give back to her. Those are definitely like financial goals of mine with music.
Those are some great goals.
Thanks.
I love that. So, where can we listen if we haven't heard you yet?
You can listen to me everywhere. I have music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, everywhere.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It was great to hear your music, and I hope that you can reach all your goals in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching One Cut. I'm Amber Wisman, and with me today is Nick Cavalier, singer-songwriter.
Too many times I've